I worked with adjudicated youth for years, and I saw firsthand, as you just stated, the uncle, the coach, the whole dynamics of children being abused. But I think that when many pastors consider that they do have the resources in their church, they have skilled counselors, social workers who see it every day, with those persons who work in adjudicated youth, those who have the skill set, and as you stated, the partnership, create and then partner with agencies and organizations who've been doing it for years. In this city, there are any number of organizations who have sought to get churches to let them in and even to support their cause. And of course, needless to say, we're turned away. But I think in light of what has been going on nationally, and you mentioned the ordeal with Penn State, I think the time is now, and Pastor Dewey Smith will speak up, and others who've already started and been engaged will make it easier, create an atmosphere for healing. And I believe that, and as we tell our children, we don't care who it is, cousin, uncle,
absolutely.
Speak up.
Absolutely. I mean, my daughter, she's turning 12. She has a standing rule. Anybody touches you in any inappropriate way, I don't care who they are, you bust them in the face, ask questions later, and you come tell daddy or mama. And we need to perpetuate that, because that level of immoral failure, see, our organizations don't fail economically the way we think they do. You know, because it uncovers, this recession, this economic climate has uncovered another level and dimension of unknowns. And people are saying, I want my voice, you know.
Yeah.
And when I hear these conversations where, you know, we make a distinguishing between 10-year-olds, 12-year-old boys versus 16-year-old boys and 18-year-old boys, you know, what's the difference? When you are a person of power and influence, why are you even spending time? You know, companies want to partner with you, to engage with you, to help you transform your community, and we can't even find you in your office because you're out doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Oh, help us, God.
And so that's why we're launching this whole solutions movement, this ministry repositioning initiative. Every week we're going to be coming to you with different best practices, not just economically. We're talking economics, but currency is just not money. Currency is just not, currency is only one form of money. Oxygen is a currency. Anything in the universe that can be traded, exchanged, or flows, that's what a currency is. Our relationships, this is currency in action right here.
Yes, it is.
And we need to embrace more of the accumulation of relational capital, and not just relational capital to come preach and to come speak or to come play. That's great, but can I come and bring value to you? Can I help transform your ministry? Can I help shift you into another dimension? Can I help take you somewhere, Apostle? Can I take you somewhere that you can't go? But you got to be open and transparent enough to be able to tell me more about what's going on in you, rather than the new shoes and the new suit and the custom tailor.
There we go. There we go. Because
have.
I was thinking, as Apostle was mentioning about him working with the children and dealing with them with the counseling, but what about the predators? Because they need deliverance.
Absolutely.
They need restoration. They need healing. The uncles and the pastors who sexually molest people, they need to go through healing. They need layers peeled off of them, and they need someone to be, that they can be held accountable to, someone that they can, I know I've got two close ones in my ministry that if I feel like I'm about to mess up, I call them quickly and say, hey, this is what's going on. And that relational aspect is what you were talking about, to feel comfortable enough with someone to say, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help transform you, help get you to that next level of destiny, and really together, that collaborative effort, a spirit of unity, in order for us to be better together. Like you mentioned it in one of your other shows, iron sharpens iron. And we're not here by accident. This is a God thing.
Yes,
Are
yes,
you hearing me?
absolutely. And we're not just in covenant to cover each other up.
Yeah, but that whole piece, that a lot of that transference from family dynamics, dysfunction, but this whole fictitious pseudo way in which we interact with one another. When you are unhealthy, sometimes you'll look for escape. You'll go into a mode of escapism where you're covering up, and this whole surface covering up where we're focused on, Doc, how many you ran and who got this and where's that. This kind of infantile way in which we interact. However, there is, and there should be, I believe, and my background is in social welfare, I believe every pastor, every leader should have a psychological evaluation.
Wow.
And I believe that every leader should put an infrastructure in their church from time to time that deal with wellness. We know that people transfer when they come to church. The kind of dynamics that undermines the fellowship is coming from brokenness, coming from decay that goes back to 40 and 50 generations. And we need to have a healing stream that runs in the center of our ministries that will say, jump in the water's trouble, in various forms. Messages and even practices in the form of Sunday school, Christian education that goes beyond that. And even if a church doesn't have the resources or any credentialed or skilled certified counselors, there are any number in the communities, and we can send them over to ABC Church, send them over to this church and say, this is what we're going to do these next several weeks. And we'll find that it would be very hard for people to hide and uncovering the mask. I've seen it. We talk about it in our own way, but we see that there are certain spirits that gravitate toward each other.
Yes,
it's no coincidence that there's grouping of demons, if you will, or groupings of certain type of dynamics and spirits. Why is it that certain, for lack of a better word, and I can just say this, certain types, type A's, if you will, certain spirits gravitate toward each other.
Sure it does.
And why is it that certain people will make certain irresponsible statement as if to say, if a person is old enough to drive a car, then they can make a decision whether or not to be abused. And anybody who worked in any level of dealing with youth and human behavior understands what power does and the way power
Even
operates.
human resources
Sure.
in a company. You can be 35 years old, and the person can be 34 or 35 years old, but it's the power and the influence. And we have networks of negative collaboration,
Yeah.
but we've got to have networks of positive collaboration, consolidation.
Yes.
Yeah.
What you're going to start seeing nationwide, and we're wrapping it up, we're running out of time, but what you're going to see nationwide, our churches are going to have to consolidate, even with their properties.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have churches come together. They have one property. 4 or 5 churches are going to be using that facility, and they're going to each bring a skill set to the table. It's going to decrease the mortgage. We're not going to have to worry about foreclosure, but then we're going to increase revenue that can go into causes, not conferences, but causes. We have to have scholarship funds and business incubators and wellness centers and libraries and schools, and I can just go on, all the things that we know we need. We have to shift the culture that we're not just about the 4 walls of a building, brick and mortar, but we are a people. The church is invisible.
Yeah.
It was St. Augustine of Hippo who talked about the invisible church versus the visible church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have now adapted a visible church. Now there is no visibility outside of the 4 walls into the marketplace.
That's right.
I get excited.
That's a good point.
We're out of time. We're out of time. I want to thank the guests that are here with us today, sitting in. And I want to thank you, the viewing audience, as well, for taking time. We're beginning a journey, and this was just the foundation of the journey. We've been taping for weeks, and we've had over 20 experts that have joined us to talk about best practices in human resources and economics, you name it, financial literacy, investment. We've brought billions of dollars of resources to the table, loan modification. If you're losing your home, you're going to hear about all of these different things that we're dealing with, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. And these men and women of God experience this. And so they're not just shaking their head because we're on TV and we shake our heads. They experience this prophetic move of God where ministries are being repositioned. We want to invest into your life. What must we do to navigate the prophetic demand on each and every one of us in the earth. We must embrace and do these 5 things. We must embrace the mindset of our Creator. We must follow Christ. We must realize that we're already in Christ. Embrace our manifest destiny. Learn and implement trusted and proven systems in every area of our lives. Embrace and implement a collective and collaborative roadmap for our respective churches, communities, and our individual families and lives together. To this end, I want to invest into your life. I want to sow a seed of knowledge, understanding, and prophetic direction into your very being and mind. For the next 24 hours, I'm giving complimentary, that's free, digital copies of my best-selling book, Your Manifest Destiny, 7.5 Words to Transform Your Future, Work the System by my friend and colleague Sam Carpenter, and a secret prophetic chapter from Occupy the Church, my forthcoming roadmap for the manifestation of the 21st century church. You have 3 ways to get these best-selling resources. Go to www.oureconomicdignity.com or scan the QR code that's on the screen, or follow us at Solutions TV on Twitter, and we'll reciprocate with the link for you to get these resources. Go to www.oureconomicdignity.com, scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen, or follow us at Solutions TV on Twitter, and we'll reciprocate with the link to those resources. Again, thank you for investing your time in viewing this interactive conversation on best practices and solutions for repositioning ourselves to manifest our definitive purpose in the earth and beyond. It's our collective mandate. Until next week, remember, a mind without barriers creates ideas without limitations. What barriers are you allowing to limit you? Pastors, let me speak directly to you and your leaders for a moment. Our communities of faith and our neighborhoods are in chaos and crisis. When the real estate, stock market, private debt, and consumer spending markets crashed in America, it facilitated a quote-unquote church market crash as well. No one is talking about it. There was no stimulus, there was no bailout or policy created for the kingdom. In honesty and transparency, the kingdom of God shouldn't operate in reaction to man's economic markets, but should proactively influence them and engage them. We must do it ourselves. We must take the lead. We must take action to ensure the sustainability of our ministries, causes, and definitive purpose. Do we have all of the answers? No. Yet, God has given us a prophetic glimpse of what's to come and how to strategically prepare for the future of your churches and our expansion into the marketplace and every relevant sector of modern day society. To this end, I want to invest into you, your community, and your church. I will come at no cost to you, to your church. Let's plan an economic dignity weekend together. Let's plan a prophetic solutions weekend together. Call my office at 404-995-7094 or online at www.oureconomicdignity.com. That's 404-995-7094 or online at www.oureconomicdignity.com.